The way RTC works, the first 2 years in college, you have 1 day a week, which is military training, really just attending a military class. And then in between your sophomore and junior years, you spend in field training. And I got lucky in my field training. I actually enjoyed it. Most people ended up going to field training down in Texas or Arizona in the summer where it's 100 degrees, you're outside all day, you're burning up in the heat. I was assigned to Plattsburgh Air Force Base, which is in Plattsburgh, New York. It's the very top of New York, just south of Montreal. So I didn't dislike it at all. I'd say, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very interesting. I have a lot of memories from that. One of the things I remember was the water survival training. They put an orange raft out in the middle of Lake Champlain. We had our survival training in Lake Champlain. It was okay. Somehow get out to that raft and climb on board. So you swim, doggy paddle, however you could to get out there. And if you could get out there and pull yourself on board the raft, then you passed. Yeah. So I think I enjoyed field training. It was long hours. I remember the first day we showed up, we had to get up either 5 or 6 a.m. every day. And they said, okay, lights out's going to be at 9. Everyone laughed. Oh, 9 o'clock. Those days were so packed with work, and you were so busy the entire day. We were all exhausted, and no one was able to stay up past 9. I mean, it was really exhausting. You get up, go out, do a bunch of exercises, run a mile and a half each day. Then you'd eat breakfast. Then you do all the day's activities, and by the time the night rolled around, everyone was exhausted. We had bed inspections. I remember learning how to short sheet the bed, so you would not get in bed, you sort of sleep on top of the bed and you pull a blanket over you, but so when you woke up it was pretty much perfectly made the next day, so your bed would pass inspection every day without having to make it from scratch, because they came in with rulers and they were very precise on how they're going to inspect your bed. So it was nice. The last weekend, if you didn't have a lot of demerits, was open base, meaning you could leave base and go where you wanted to. I happened to have a car, so a lot of us carpooled, those of us with cars, and we drove up to Montreal, Canada. At that time, you didn't need a passport. You just go across the border, and that was enjoyable. We drove up, stayed in a hotel there, and then came back. So I actually enjoyed field training. My first assignment was to the Air Force Flight Dynamics Laboratory at Wright Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. I worked on a variety of projects. The biggest one was the F-15 STOL MTD. STOL is STOL, that stands for Short Takeoff and Landing. Everything in the military is an acronym. MTD's Maneuver Technology Demonstrator. What it was a new type of... We're trying different ideas on an F-15 to see if you could make them work on a next generation fighter, which was going to be the F-22. We put canards, which are little wings in front of the big wing. A new type of landing gear, a new type of control. New type of engine, and one of the biggest changes is most engines have a round exhaust nozzle out the back. This one had a rectangular nozzle out the back, which meant you could vector the thrust up or down, or you could even make it go backwards. And that was something that was new, hadn't been tried at the time. So I was involved with all the wind tunnel tests on that project. It turned out that the vectoring nozzles that we tested ended up on the F-22 ATF demonstrator, which is now flying our current stealth fighter. The NASA tests, to me, were the most enjoyable because we got to get really involved with it and see how it worked. And the NASA wind tunnel was huge. It was the NASA 30 by 60, which is the full-scale wind tunnel, 30 feet tall, 60 feet wide, built during the Depression. They used to fit full-scale airplanes in there from World War II, and there are pictures up here is World War II fighters in full scale put in the wind tunnel. I remember touring the test section once, and there was a basketball hoop up. This wind tunnel was so big, when the test was not running, if there was in between tests, they could go down there and play basketball inside the return section of the wind tunnel. I also have pictures of me in wind tunnels, pictures of me, the wind tunnel models, official pictures the Air Force took out. One that I thought was pretty funny. At the wind tunnel test, you wouldn't wear a uniform every day. you wear your casual clothes. This is your dirty, and the McDonald guys would wear blue jeans and t-shirts, very casual. Well, one day they said, okay, you got to bring in your dress blues tomorrow. Why? It's picture day. Okay. So I'm all dressed up, and everyone knew why. If you weren't your coat and your tie, they're going to take pictures. And by Federal Express, some lab coats had come down from the McDonald guys. So instead of the blue jeans and t-shirts, they put in these blue lab coats, and they would always take 2 pictures. They would take one with the McDonald guy. You see the front of him, and you see me standing inspecting the model. The one side was blank, and you just saw a guy in a coat. And this was the picture that the Air Force would use. Then they take a picture from the back, because the back of the lab coat said McDonnell Douglas on them. So those were the pictures from the advertising for McDonnell Douglas. So those are the pictures McDonnell Douglas would use in their advertising. So pretty much the exact same scene. The Air Force wouldn't show the McDonnell Douglas logo in their pictures, but McDonnell was sure to show their logo in that picture. So I always thought that was pretty funny. So you got to bring your dress uniform down the 6-week test to wear one day. You're really for half hour or something for picture taking. But that's the way it is. Well, you had to go out and buy a bunch of new clothes. The military, everything's the same. The pants and the shirt and everything. You have to buy civilian clothes that look different. That was probably the biggest adjustment. And then I got into the habit. Yeah, I had long hair like everyone did in the 1970s, and when you joined, I got some military haircut. And from then till now, I've sort of kept my haircut sort of short because it would feel funny if it got too long. So now I still have sort of military style haircut. But I would say just the clothes was the biggest thing. I had to go out and get a new wardrobe because I really had nothing to wear for a professional job. Yeah.